Hello and welcome to another update video about Bitcoin. Yeah, I think Bitcoin, it obviously did recover here today and overnight. However, I think we need to keep an open mind and have to assume that the correction isn't finished yet. As I said in the last video, what we need to do, we now need to see an impulse to the upside. A break out of the wedge in itself is not enough to assume that the overall correction is finished and that we have reached the lowest point already. Price action at the moment suggests we will still see lower prices. At least that's my reading here. Now, you know what we said in the previous video, the requirements for this correction to the downside, for this move are complete. It doesn't need to go any lower. However, you will also know that we said that it did fall short of reaching the ideal targets here just a bit. So from that point of view, it would be ideal to still come down a little lower. In which shape or form this will happen, we will need to see. However, what I can tell you is that yes, the pattern to the downside was full or near enough full. What you then normally need to do, you need to be watching for an impulse into the other direction. If you have a corrective pattern complete and you fail to see an impulse into the larger trend direction, which would be up. So the larger trend is up, of course. Yeah, if you zoom out, you can see the larger trend here is up. And I currently read this as a correction in a larger trend. So the wave 4 here basically interrupts the larger trend which has started to the upside here in this 5-wave move. Otherwise, it would not be a 5-wave move, the yellow one. Which, by the way, doesn't mean the bull run has started, but it's still, if it's going to be a 5-wave move, the larger trend is up, and the wave 4 is a correction in the larger trend. Now, we counted this as an ABC structure to the downside, and we said that the wave 5 could be finished, and that we can expect a recovery here at any moment. Now, we see a recovery, but it is not impulsive. And because it's not clearly impulsive, we need to be ready for further downside. Now, this is of course not guaranteed, but I think we have to be prepared for it, because at the moment this looks very corrective what's coming up here. Now, that could mean a few things. That could mean that this wave 4 is still ongoing. It's, in my opinion, less likely, as we already broke below the low of the third wave, but it's possible. It wouldn't be the first time that we see something that's called a running triangle. For example, we could say that this was the A wave of a triangle. Oops, no, it chose the wrong tool. That we chose here that this was the A wave of a triangle, that this was the B wave of the triangle. What we're currently doing is the C wave of the triangle. The C wave, by the way, is normally a more complex wave in a triangle. Then we will have a D wave and an E wave. That's possible. So A, B, C, D, E. So according to this interpretation, the correction is not finished yet. And you need to be ready that this could carry on for a bit, if that's the right way of looking at it. I mean, at the moment, triangles are hard to detect, because you really only know that the triangle occurs after the C wave. Because until then it could just be a simple ABC correction, but I just bring it up because a wave 4 often is a triangle, and because we see corrective movement up, yes, 5 waves down, but only as a diagonal, so you can also interpret it as a corrective move down. And the only reason I'm doing this and telling you that it could be corrective down is because it's now corrective up. And if after a corrective pattern is finished, you still see a correction into the other direction, you have to assume something corrective is still going on. And triangles are corrective patterns, so A, B, C, D, E. If the B wave goes below the low of the third wave, it's called a running triangle. It's actually quite bearish. But yeah, if it's a triangle, it's good as well, because triangles always appear as the move before the last move of a cycle. So we basically would have a really good view that the next move down is a 5th wave. So I'd be happy with a triangle. It could also be just a more complex correction in a wave 4. For example, here at WXY. It would have to be WXY because the move so far to the upside is corrective in my view. We'll see. So it's not an AB, and this is not a C wave currently. I think it looks rather like a WXY. We'll see. We'll see. The wave 2 was a so-called sharp correction. So it was a zigzag. It came down quite strongly. So it wouldn't be a surprise to see the wave 4 being a sideways correction in the guideline of alternation. As per Elliott Wave, when you see wave 2 is quite sharp, wave 4 could be a sideways, which could be a flat pattern. Yeah, so this could become an expanded flat as well. Something like that. Yeah, and then come down. We'll see. We just need to be aware that this, it doesn't look like a flat because the C wave would need to be quite strong now, which it sort of isn't. So yeah, to be honest, I'm open to the idea it could be a triangle. However, if we break above 20,090, and I already mentioned that in the last video, and that's why I mentioned it, because until then this could still be some kind of a corrective wave really easily. Only if we break above that level we have a good view that the correction is over, and that this actually is already the next wave up in the 5th wave here that could take us to 27K. Where are we? Where's the 5th? There, up there, yeah. And even better confirmation would be if we break above the resistance. That's at 22,250. Because even until then, I mean, as I said, it could theoretically still be at A, B, C, and the C wave maxing out the resistance area here in wave 4, and then come down. This is all possible. That's why we need to keep an open mind, especially on a day where we have CPI release. We'll see where that takes us. But these are the possibilities we need to have an open mind for. At the moment, I'd rather be leaning towards we are still going to see another low here based on current price action. Okay, that's my update about Bitcoin. I hope you liked the update. If you did, please hit the like button, leave a comment and subscribe. And if you really like the content, then please check out the channel membership. Thanks a lot for watching. Bye-bye.